Recently gathered up a whole bunch of my own knives that I'm ready to get rid of, and I put them up on bladebinge.com. Bladebinge.com is a company where you can buy and sell newer used knives. They have 100% protection for both parties, so there's no risk for the buyer or sellers. I personally think this is a great company, which is why they are today's video sponsor. If you want to check out the knives I have for sale, for a really good price, by the way, or any other newer used knives, or possibly sell some of your own, check out bladebinge.com, links in the description. Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're checking out 7 USA-made knives, and a few of them I'm pretty sure you guys have never seen before. Let's check these out. This is the CRKT Machaca Magna Cut steel, and it has a G10 handle. There is another color option, but this is made by Hogue in Magna Cut steel. What's awesome about that is Hogue's doing a great job with their Magna Cut. It has an automatic action. So basically what you do is you take the scales and kink them that way, the front side. So I'll push it with my thumb. So you push it that way, as you can see right there. I like to use my palm. So I take the back of my hand right there and I smack it forward just like that. And you can see it offset right there. And that's how you unlock it too. So you open it up like that, get your grip, make your cut, hit it again, and then you can lower it down with your finger or with 2 hands, and you can hear it lock back in. Nice strong lockup. And it is nice and ergonomic. I do feel the clip just a little bit right there because they put a very long clip on there, a surprisingly long clip. It actually looks a little obnoxious how long it is, but it does work very well. So I do gotta say, it is a very, very well functioning clip. It is inset with flat screws, which I always do appreciate. It is only right-handed, but the drop point blade has a very slicey grind. Love the swedge. And like I said, Hogue is doing a good job with their Magna Cut steel. I think they're running at 62 to 64, but for the most part, I believe it's 63, 64. And while we're on the CRKTs, we have one more that's also made by Hogue in the USA in Magna Cut steel. This is the little Minnow. It has a sheep's foot blade with an aluminum handle with this beautiful green canvas micarta, or linen micarta, the green linen micarta scales. Beautiful action on this automatic. This is one that you can very easily close one-handed because the spring is plenty strong for a rapid deployment, but it is not so strong that you can't just close it one-handed. Kara likes it because she can easily close it one-handed. The clip, again, is a little long for the knife, but you know, I don't mind the clip on this one. It actually is just fine, but I don't like those screws. Those screws could definitely be flatter. Put flat screws next time. It's not that big of a deal because this is more of like a 5th pocket knife. It is only a 2-finger knife, so something you're just gonna pull out, make a utility cut, and you know, you put back in your 5th pocket. The next one is from Armis Knives. Now, Armis Knives is obviously a USA made company, and he's making these 2 versions in 2 different sizes. So you have the small one and the large one. Now, these are an AEBL steel with G10 scales, full tang, and these are self-defense knives, which you can absolutely tell when you get them in your hand. Just the way these things are designed, in my opinion, these are absolutely made for the cap off in the reverse grip or the forward grip. Actually, both grips are very, very comfortable. The large one fits my hand a little bit better than the forward grip, and because the scales, the way they're made, you can just feel when it's in your hand that this is something you can put all your force and all your leverage into without ever fearing slipping up the blade. This has really good ergonomics for a poking, stabbing purpose. The blades are rather thick, so these should not be fragile, especially in AEBL, which is a super tough steel, nice good stainless properties, and it holds a decent edge. Now, as far as the sheaths go, another cool factor is that they are reversible, so it doesn't matter what direction you put the knife in the sheath, it will fit. And I love that because, you know, when it's on your side, you know, and you're gonna get it out and make a cut and then put it back, in many cases you don't want to have to think about what direction am I putting it in. But the handle also, with the knife, with the sheath, it makes it really good for choking up around this part right here and capping, yanking it out, and having your grip right away. So you don't have to worry about landing on the blade. Even with the small one, same thing. Like, I never fear going like this and landing right on the edge. So you just choke up and bam, it's right in your hand. And like I said, man, you feel like you have a lot of power with these guys. You get them in your hand and you just instantly want to poke them into something. Even with the little guy, I can crush my hand in there. Yes, it's very tight, but I can absolutely do it without fear of slipping up the blade. There is another little thing I want to show you guys from Armis, and that is this marker. Now, this isn't any marker. You're not going to be writing with this marker because it doesn't write. This has a very hard tip. I believe it's like a carbon fiber tip. I'm not positive, but it is very pokey. And this is for, obviously, self-defense purposes, and I'm not telling you to do anything illegal, but this will absolutely make it through a metal detector. So I would love to see two things, other clip options, or at least the ability to do other clip options. I'm not sure if these easily pop off or not, but regardless, you know, the clip's fine. It'll clip on your belt or possibly in your pocket, but I'd love to see an anti-clip option or just some other clip options. And then the next thing is the edge. They are convex edges. I can tell, or at least it seems like it's a belt sharpened convex edge. Now, that's really cool for toughness if I was going to be using this for outdoors use, but for self-defense purposes, I would prefer a V-ground edge with a toothy edge, especially an AEBL. AEBL takes a really good toothy edge. Now, 14C28N takes a very good toothy or fine edge. You can bring it up to a mirror polish. AEBL, in my opinion, especially in the 57 to 59 HRC, you know, maybe if it's 61, 62, 63, you might be able to get a good polish on it. But to me, a toothy edge is what's going to suit AEBL the best, especially on an application like this, where you're going to want as much bite and as sharp as possible. And the thickness is definitely not going to, you're not going to be risking the edge being fragile because it is, you know, a relatively thick knife. And I'm not going to say anything really about the choil because I understand you want this to basically just go right into the edge, and you can sharpen all the way up to the plunge grind without cutting into the plunge grind. So that's just fine. But typically I do like it cut a little bit differently right here so that I can get better access to sharpening. Next is another fixed blade before we get to some more folding knives. This is from Unique Designs, and what's special about this is it's actually using Wootz steel. Have you ever heard of Wootz steel? Me neither. So Wootz steel actually is the first ever Damascus steel. So supposedly it's the first steel that was ever named a Damascus. So it is the original Damascus, which I did not know about. I never heard of it. I will say the patterns are not as beautiful as the patterns we get now with our Damascuses, but it has a great story, a great history behind it, because hey, everything has to start somewhere, right? We have the beautiful patterns and the things we have because of a steel like this. So it has a Wharncliffe blade, and also, by the way, the steel is not like a high performance steel or anything. It's more about how, you know, its history and stuff. But it has a Wharncliffe blade, which I absolutely love, a nice Wharncliffe. It is a convex grind instead of a flat grind or a hollow grind. It is a convex grind. Let's see if I can find something flat for you guys. As you can see, I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. I would imagine it is on purpose, but the handle is a beautiful brown canvas micarta. I freaking love this micarta. It is gorgeous. You can tell these are handmade. This is a handmade custom knife. He is trying to put it into production. He's looking for a company to go into production with these, but the handle is a stumpy handle, but it's nice and thick, slightly, or not slightly, it is very contoured, and it does fit the hand really, really well. Now, I personally wish this was just filled in right here. I wish there wasn't no lanyard hole. I'm not a big fan of lanyards, even on a small knife like this, but when you choke up, now that is where the grip's at. It's very, very comfortable right there, and you can choke your thumb back, does that make sense? Choke your thumb back to that jimping, and it does lock you in extremely well, but my thumb naturally wants to land right there. So for me, I'd like to see it scooped forward, just a little bit forward, at least with this scoop. And you know, I think it would be a little bit more comfortable for my hand, but it's not that big of a deal. It's still very, very comfortable just the way it is, and the pinch grips are amazing. Then You know, the only other little nitpick I have is, you know, I would love to see a little notch right there because it's, you know, it has a tapering plunge grind. If the plunge went straight down like Spyderco's, then I would say this is fine, just, you know, sharpen up to the plunge. But because it does have a slight taper, I would love to see just a little tiny notch right there, separating the plunge from the edge, so that now my edge bevel will be nice and consistent from heel to tip. All in all, solid knife. Leather sheath, by the way, that is just fine. You know, it has good stitching, feels like decent leather. You know, I'm not sure if he has other sheaths that he does sell or whatnot. I'm pretty sure he does have other models, but this is the one that he's trying to get into production right now. And I think it's cool enough that it absolutely could make it into production. High water knives. This is a button lock action that is unfailable. Absolutely unfailable. I have tried I've literally spent a lot of time trying to fail this, like just trying to misfire it, and it's just impossible. It's literally impossible. It's kind of like trying to misfire an automatic or something. Like, it's just nearly impossible. Now, this is a knife in S35 VM blade steel, but it comes in MagnaCut steel now, or at least he's working with MagnaCut now. It has a unique blade shape with this heavy belly right here that, you know, might be good for some people's tasks, whether it's cutting down on a flat surface, possibly skinning, I don't know, whatever you want to do with your knife, but the tip does drop down slightly, so it is easy to get to. Handle is an aluminum handle that has really nice crowning around the edges, so it's very comfortable in the hand. The clip does not get in your way whatsoever. It's a very simple pocket clip, but, you know, for the price that these are, it's not bad at all. And the drop on it, very smooth. My biggest complaint about this knife is, and it's very minimal, it's just I wish, because it has such a strong detent, that there was texturing right here on the flipper tab. I'm not sure, his new ones might have texturing. This is an older one, and I know he does have a little bit of different styles and stuff, but if it had just a little bit of texturing, now I'm not slipping off of it, I'm fine, like, it's not doing any harm or anything. It's just something that I've noticed, like, every time I put my finger on it, I know I want a little bit of jimping, and I think that'd be cool. All in all, it is a damn cool USA made knife. Tactile Mariner 2. This is a Bob Terzola design. I do have a full video on it. This is a MagnaCut blade, 63 to 64 HRC with titanium scales, a steel liner, titanium pocket clip that works great, and a titanium backspacer with a hidden lanyard. Good access to the lock bar, very smooth on the drop. And then mine has the superconductor thumb disc. So there's multiple different thumb discs. I have a Timascus one, a superconductor, and then the regular titanium one. So they do have a few different options that you can choose from. Extremely smooth. That's the one thing you notice right away. It is very flickable. The detent is on the lighter side, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm probably going to strengthen my detent just a little bit, but very comfortable, very ergonomic, great size, good looking knife, and a great history, because this originally was a knife, a custom knife from Bob Terzola that was from like 30 years ago or something like that, and they redid it, and he obviously licensed it out to Tactile, and Tactile created their version of it, and it looks damn cool. And it is a good, not only a good looking knife, but, you know, being USA made and the materials and the people behind it, I think it is awesome, especially with the story. But let's get to the next one. So really quick, this is an honorable mention. So there is still one more folding knife after this, but I wanted to show you guys this because I just got it. It's a USA made chef knife for 20 bucks. This is a $20 chef knife. Now, it's saying it's USA made. That's what it said on Blade HQ's site, and it actually says it on the side of the knife, and it's in 14C28N. So to me, this was like, what? How is this possible? Like, that's the way I was thinking. Maybe it's not made in the USA, but it does kind of seem like it is, but I don't know. I can't be positive. I will say there's a couple little rough things around it. You can see why it's only $20, but it is very thin geometry, very, very slicey, extremely lightweight. The handle is like this, I don't know, polyurethane plastic. You can see it's a little rough in a couple areas. Not that it's like, you know, breaking or anything, but you can see where the mold, you know, maybe cracked in a couple areas on the inside. I don't think that's a big deal. It's a rubberized handle right here, very comfortable in the grip. And because it's 14C, like, I love 14C as, you know, as a kitchen knife. I love it as a lot of different steels, whether it's a hard use steel, a pocket knife. I love it all the way around. It just depends on how it's heat treated and the geometry. And in this case, being the geometry that this steel was designed to be in, very, very thin geometry, this is going to be a performer. I'm guessing it's probably only 56, 57 HRC. Luckily, 14C doesn't do horrible at that low of an HRC, but it's also not going to be nowhere near as good as if it was 60, 61, whatever. But I don't know that for sure, so I could be just that, you know, I'm just making that up right now. So it could be above 60, I don't know. But anyways, very lightweight. This right here, if you look, it kind of chamfers down right there, so it does feel kind of good in the hand. You can also pinch up on the blade. Sharpening is going to be a breeze. The one thing that I would say as far as negatives go, besides, you know, me seeing a little bit in this plastic handle, is the edge. The edge is not very good. I can feel there's burr still left on there. And, you know, and that's just what you get when, you know, you spend $20 on a USA made knife, because, you know, it does cost to buy USA made products. But I bet we could tune it up in 60 seconds or less on my Work Sharp field sharpener. I'm not going to resharpen it. I'm literally just going to hone the apex, kind of. I'm not creating a high micro bevel because I'm not using their angle. I'm actually using my own angle because I can tell they have a bit of a lower angle on it. But I'm just knocking that burr. Oh yeah, that's already, I can already tell that's much, much better. So I just knocked the burr off nice and clean. I was very gentle, literally very, very little pressure, if any. Now let's check it out. Way, way better. Look at that. Right up there in the tip where that burr was. Really good. And I will be testing it in the kitchen and showing it in more videos to see how well it actually does. I imagine it's going to do fairly decent considering the geometry. It's not going to be a high performance kitchen knife, but it's something that is, you know, still pretty nice, that'll function really well, that is made in the USA. And then last, USA made blades. USA made blades. He's doing incredible work, especially for the value and the money. You know, this one right here was $330. I'm sure the price is going to be going up soon, but for Magna Cut steel, 63 to 64 HRC titanium scales, even though it's a steel liner lock, it has a titanium pocket clip and backspacer. Phenomenal action, amazing action. This is an amazing knife for the value. You have good access to the lock bar. It's very smooth on the drop. He is only one guy, so if you have any issues or anything like that, you can easily reach out to him and he will take care of it. And because he's only one guy, he's going to be easier to get a hold of, right? But it is, in my opinion, I think it has a good look to it. I love how it's all plain Jane, like silver. I love the look of it. I love the action of it. I love the cutting performance. The sharpening goes really well. The steel feels nice. And the clip works great too, by the way. So all in all, this is just an absolute banger of a USA made knife. And because it is Mike doing everything by himself, being a one-man army, I gotta show some respect and some love to him. So shout out to American Blade Works. There you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.